Greetings and welcome back to Curiosities Obscura. We're thrilled to have you with us for another exciting exploration. Please don't forget to like, click the bell icon, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest adventures. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Imagine yourself standing outside, the cool breeze brushing against your face, and the sound of rustling leaves around you. It's Halloween night, a night when myths, stories, and centuries-old traditions say the boundary between the living and the dead becomes paper-thin. But what does that really mean? Many of us know Halloween as a time when the spirit world and our world are thought to overlap. This idea goes back to an ancient festival called Samhain, when the Celts in Ireland and Scotland marked the end of the harvest season and the start of the darker half of the year. They believed that on this night, the veil between worlds was thin, allowing spirits, both good and mischievous, to move among the living. Samhain is one of the oldest traditions tied to Halloween, stretching back thousands of years to ancient Celtic communities. On October 31st, people believed that spirits could cross over to our world more easily, some bringing omens or messages from the other side. They lit bonfires to ward off harmful spirits and left food offerings for their ancestors or wandering souls. To avoid being recognized by any lurking spirits, people would dress up in costumes made from animal skins. This idea of a veil between our world and the spirit world isn't unique to the Celts. Other cultures have their own times when they believe spirits and ancestors come close. In Mexico, Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead, is celebrated from October 31st to November 2nd. Although different from Halloween, it's based on the idea that spirits of loved ones can return to visit. Families create ofrendas, or altars, filled with candles, flowers, food, and photos of the deceased to guide spirits back home. In Japan, Obon is held in mid-August to honor deceased ancestors. It's said that during this festival, ancestors return to visit their families. People light lanterns and place offerings on altars to welcome them and guide them back. During the Qingming festival, or Tomb Sweeping Day, families visit graves to clean them, offer food, and burn paper items that symbolize necessities for the deceased. Though this festival is held in early April, it similarly connects the living with those who have passed. So, why do these beliefs about a veil exist? One reason can be the cycles of life and death. Many cultures view life and death as parts of a cycle, much like the changing of seasons. With autumn marking the end of growth and the onset of colder, darker days, ancient communities felt this season was closer to the mysteries of death and the unknown. Another can be psychological and social connections, as beliefs about spirits being close offer comfort, suggesting that the deceased aren't completely gone, but are in a different realm, accessible at certain times. These customs helped people face the uncertainties of life and death by symbolizing a continuing connection with those who had passed. It may also be due to superstition and survival. In early societies, unexplained sights and sounds could be frightening. Believing that spirits roamed on Halloween night gave people a way to rationalize unknown phenomena, attributing them to forces beyond control. As Halloween approaches, stories of ghosts and spirit encounters become more common. Many people believe that if spirits were ever to reach out, Halloween night would be the time. Ghost stories and urban legends flourish around Halloween. Some places even host ghost walks through haunted sites, telling stories of spirits said to linger, adding to the night's mystique. From England's haunted castles to Japan's eerie forests, people around the world report experiences that tap into the Halloween spirit. The idea of the veil thinning has also attracted paranormal researchers. Some investigators use Halloween as an opportunity to explore haunted locations, using tools to detect unusual temperature changes or electromagnetic fields. Classic Halloween symbols like black cats, bats, and jack-o'-lanterns are deeply rooted in folklore. In the Middle Ages, black cats were often associated with witches, as people believed they could transform into animals or that cats acted as their magical familiars. Today, black cats remain symbols of mystery, while bats are nocturnal creatures that often appear in dark, quiet places, adding to their air of mystery. In folklore, they symbolize death and rebirth, adding to their spooky Halloween connection. The tradition of jack-o'-lanterns comes from an Irish legend about a man named Stingy Jack, who was doomed to wander the earth with only a carved-out turnip to light his way. Over time, people carved scary faces into turnips or pumpkins to ward off spirits. Imagine the world at 3 a.m., shrouded in darkness and stillness. Known as the witching hour, this time has long been thought of as when the border between our world and the spirit realm is at its thinnest. In Catholic tradition, 3 a.m. is viewed as the inverse of 3 p.m., believed to be the hour Jesus died on the cross. While 3 p.m. symbolizes salvation, 3 a.m. is sometimes associated with spiritual vulnerability. Some believe it's the time when spirits or supernatural forces are closest, earning the title dead time among paranormal investigators. Scientifically, our body clocks hit a low point around 3 a.m., which could make us more prone to feelings of fear or unease, fueling beliefs about paranormal activity. Is there any science behind the eerie feeling many get around Halloween? Halloween marks the end of the harvest and the approach of darker days. Some research suggests that reduced sunlight can make people feel more reflective or emotional, adding to the sense that spirits might be closer. Our brains tend to find patterns even when none exist, a phenomenon called pareidolia. This is why people might see faces in shadows or sense a presence in dark places, especially on nights primed for fear and mystery. And so, as you wander through the streets on Halloween, think of the veil that might just separate our world from the other. Perhaps it's tradition or shadows that play tricks on us. But then again, maybe, just maybe, spirits are closer than we think. And with that, we conclude our exploration into the veil between worlds and the mystery of Halloween night. Join us in our next venture on Curiosities Obscura, quenching your thirst for curiosity as we continue to showcase the curiosities, oddities, and mysteries that shape our world. Until then, may your curiosity illuminate your path.